good, YouTube? This is your boy Drano, the Nth Degree, New Rebel TV. You know the drill. So listen, I had to put this video together because every time that I personally seen this phenomenon, which I've seen it maybe about 3 or 4 times, I never got a chance to record it because I'm on the freeway the majority of the time. But this is where you see frozen planes frozen in mid-air or flying against gravity, you know what I mean? So since I never got a chance to actually catch it myself, I went ahead and searched YouTube to see if someone else did, and lo and behold, there you go, a whole bunch of people capturing this on footage and on their cell phones. So what I need you to do, sit back, fire something up, you know what I mean? Sip on something nice, eat an edible, whatever it is, man, whatever it is that you do, man, and just tweak off this beat deep one time. All right, let's get it.
That's right. So this is ATS Deck, and this guy actually has a lot of videos that he's done himself of these hovering planes, this phenomenon. And also he has links to a whole bunch more. This, as you can see, that's just spooky, man. What is that? A time shift that we're witnessing? I mean, like, I don't see any trees blowing from excessive wind. I mean, there could be more wind up there, but...
Look. Yeah, but it's not moving. How is a plane doing it? How is a plane sitting there? You know what I'm saying? How can a plane do that? Is there like 2 balls in there?
Aviator Pilot 21 is a YouTuber who is a flight instructor, and he's actually with a student on this flight who is piloting. And this alarm that sounds and continues to sound throughout the video, although I turned it off because of the annoyance factor, is actually a warning of a possible stall. And so that is kind of complicated to explain why that happens, because a lot of different aircraft have different sensors for it. But essentially, a stall is the possibility of going into a spin because of air resistance. In one of the comments on this video, he says that while the airplane is flying forward at 50 knots, the air mass is moving against them at 50 knots, so their ground speed is 0 knots. That's the speed relative that they are to the ground. And this is a state of sort of stall. And that makes sense and works for physics and all that, but the thing is, the time.
What the young lady was explaining about the knots of the aircraft going against the wind, that phenomenon is called headwind, and pilots experience this all the time, as you can see with these birds, kind of, sort of. These birds should not be experiencing headwind very low to the ground, but this is what headwind looks like, because if you're on a bridge and you see birds flying by the bridge, you see this phenomenon all the time. But the thing about that is that the knots of the velocity of the aircraft going against the wind should not last that long, because wind is fluid. Wind constantly moves. It's like water, but a lighter version, a different density of water. So it shouldn't last that long. The fact that these planes are staying hovering for 10 minutes just does not make sense and defies gravity and what we know as time and gravity and space. Check it out.
Moving. Look at that. Wow. That is the craziest one I've ever seen, and I've seen hundreds. Wow. So blatant. So blatant. Look at that shit. What the fuck? Look at that. Wow. That is the craziest one I've ever seen, and I've seen hundreds. Wow. So blatant. So blatant. Look at that shit. What the fuck?
Mírela, miren esa avioneta. Yo no sé.
Está planeando.
Hey, sir, take the airplane. Mírela, mírela.
Se está dejando llevar por el aire.
Pero miremos bien eso. ¿Vimos esa vaina? El viento.
¿Está filmándolo?
Claro. Totalmente quieta.
Increíble, no se mueve.
Parece un helicóptero. Entiende un helicóptero. No, no, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal de que se vaya en pica?
Son muy cerca, una sorpresa.
Mire, mire. Óigalo, óigalo.
It's like just chilling up there. It's not even moving. It's not even moving. It's just chilling. What the fuck?
That is absurd.
It's not moving. It's not moving.
No, it's landing gears down.
That is bull. It's like it's stuck in time or something. I knew I fucking saw something weird. What?
Yes, and there's a plane up there. That plane is hovering! That plane is hovering! What? What? No, that's impossible! It's impossible to have a plane! That's impossible!
So here's the one I was telling you about. On January 22nd, 2009, U.S. Airways Flight 307 departed from Frankfurt, Germany, en route for Charlotte, North Carolina. While passing over Greenland, passengers and crew witnessed a strange anomaly occurring outside the aircraft. So exactly 2:26, Airways Flight 307, while in mid-air, stopped at complete inertia, suspended from gravity for a total of 13 minutes before resuming course. U.S. Airways would not comment on the incident, which has remained unexplained. What follows is the only video of the phenomenon recorded from a digital camera from on board the aircraft. It must have been pretty terrifying. You can see their hands shaking. I noticed in this one that there are some sound cuts. Just that you can hear the microphone picking up and then it just doesn't for a couple little seconds here and there. And I don't know if that was a camera thing, but again, I think we should look at this with a fresh mind and consider all of the little anomalous things in these videos. And those sound cuts could be indicative of, I don't know, malfunctioning electrical equipment usually indicates a change in something. Electricity, for one, current, frequency, there can be disruptions. So I think we should keep all those things in mind when we look at this stuff. Since we don't understand these phenomenon, we need to really look at the evidence and do evidence-based problem solving. So everything's in question. And it can be very challenging to separate what we have been taught that we need to put aside for now to figure out what's going on. Because as you can see, when you look at these mountains here in the snow, you want them to be moving. I mean, your mind tries to correct what it knows to be true.
I want to give a big giant bless up to Effective Collective for putting together most of those clips you just seen. And the whole point of the reason why I brought this to y'all attention is because we don't know nothing. We don't look up in the sky. We don't know nothing. And we need to question everything. This third dimension that we live in, we don't even understand what we're living through. So you already know the drill. Keep them third eyes open and let's get it.